All right, so let me talk about David's main page here. All right, so what I've said before in another video is that, let me change this here to white. So rather than this, I don't know if this is possible to be done on Teachable, but rather than that, what I would have preferred to have seen was an image of a video with the play button in the middle. Even if the video doesn't actually play on the page, if it pops up into a light box where the video is essentially right here and it's the rest is grayed out. In my opinion, that's a little bit better. It's such a great video, and it's hard for me to know that there's even supposed to be a video here. So that's one thing that I would try to change. And again, depending on whether that can be done with Teachable or not, that's just up to that may or may not be possible. Okay, so one of the things that he hammers on in his video and on the page is learn fast, have fun. And the point that I want to make is not that you should talk about learn fast, have fun, but that whatever it is that you're putting out there as the theme, that you should reiterate it. So again, fast, fun. All right, so it's a consistent message. The other thing that I want to point out is that he talks about discover a, let me use a different color, discover a new way. And he also talks about unique, my unique method. Okay, so unique and new. So much better to have something that you can legitimately say is new, unique, and different, rather than amazing, best, wonderful. So if you say this is the best course on, well, who says that? In other words, you say it's the best. It's your product. So saying something that is saying in your sales copy, this is the best, it's the amazing, it's the incredible, using superlatives like that, adjectives like that, it really doesn't have any sort of effect. Not nearly as much as saying and demonstrating that your whatever it is that you're selling is new, unique, and different. Very, very important. All right, now let's go down here. So he talks about some credibility. And that's certainly any sort of anything that you can use to really prove that you're an authority on your topic or in your field is going to increase your conversion. Here we've got lots and lots of testimonials. Some of the things that I really like that he's done with these is that you have the ability to click and to read the review on Facebook, and so it just adds that level of authenticity. Another thing is that there's the image of the person. The images could be a little bit bigger, a little bit better. I don't know if he can control that, but a lot of people leave out the. Here's some mistakes that a lot of people make with their testimonials, and that is that they don't have any sort of person's face at all, and they don't have the full name. Now the whole 5-star thing. That's something that people are just used to. I mean, Yelp, Amazon, people are just used to 5 stars. So, so that's something I wouldn't just put 5 stars just to have 5 stars, because that's a little bit misleading. But apparently, if I were to go to here and take a look, it looks like there actually is a way that you can get rated on Facebook. So if there is a way for you to prove that it's a 5-star rating, then certainly you want to use that. The other thing is that the testimonials talk about various different things, how fast they learned, the freedom. One of the first ones is great. I've watched almost every YouTube tutorial and taken lessons from the greats. Nothing compares to this course. So that really answers the objection of, well, what about all there's lots of free content. Why would I pay for your course? Well, that now you have someone saying, and it's so much more powerful in one sentence. A properly written testimonial can say more than paragraphs of sales copy could. Okay, this is the opt-in for his course. We've got David with his smiling face. Again, the fact that he talks into the video camera, even though his English isn't perfect, that actually makes him more likable and relatable. Okay, so if your English isn't perfect, don't sweat it. That can actually work in your favor. So he backs it up with so he tells his story, and there's another opt-in, so multiple chances to opt in. So those are the key components of the page. Nothing incredibly fancy. but it certainly does the job. One of the big things that I would say to make this even better would be, as I mentioned, just to make it more obvious that the video is there, because I think the video is one of the better videos that I've seen in a while. The other thing that people usually screw up with testimonials is that they'll make their testimonials really long. So there'll be an entire paragraph of stuff. So let me show you something here. So read it on Facebook. So just notice that I've watched all the greats, etc. So if we go over to Facebook, notice that it's just one segment of the testimonial. It's a third of the testimonial. So what a lot of people do is they make the mistake that they make is that they will put the entire testimonial, and especially if you've got 3, 4, 5 or more testimonials one after the other, it's a block, just block after block after block of text. And so what I recommend, as in the way that David has done here, he's only using the best segment here. But if you're using a great tip for testimonials is that, let's say that you've got a block of text. I'm going to draw over here on the corner. So let's say the whole testimonial is like this, and you're just putting this up on a regular web page. If the text is that long, what I would do is I would take the best segment of it, and then I would create a headline up here in bigger text up here, so that you've got just the headline. So if I'm skimming the page, which most people do, most people don't read every single word on your page, they're going to see the person's image, hopefully right there, and then right next to so it's going to draw their eye here, and then they're going to read this. And if the headline interests them, then they'll read this. So that's a real powerful tip for testimonials. One that I see people not getting, one that I see people screwing up all the time, is that they'll just put too much text there and not a way to draw people into the main point that they're trying to communicate. So all your testimonials should have that key phrase or key sentence. It's really usually I usually use just a fragment of a sentence in quotes to make sure that if someone just skims and just reads the headlines, that they get the point of the testimonial.